Well, that the United States was going to attack Iran, the United States with Israel, whatever. Well, anyway. So first thing, surprising, that Bitcoin has held up very well. Bitcoin has held up very well. The price, right now over the last 24 hours, a 1.45% drop. Quite surprising. Gold, silver, copper rising. And we're going to quickly do a Bitcoin analysis. But first I'd like to talk a bit about how the war might affect things, because it's the weekend, Wall Street markets aren't open yet, and they can't execute orders. So Bitcoin has held up fantastically against the attack. And here I think the most important thing, if we have Iran here and things have started, there have been some bombings even in Dubai, I think in Oman too, in Qatar, in Bahrain. The most important issue, economically, is this here. The Strait of Hormuz, which I don't know how to pronounce, but something like that, which is basically where 80% of the world's oil passes through. From here, and basically Iran can stop the oil traffic here. So I think that's the biggest effect now that the rise in oil prices can have. So we're going to keep an eye on oil. Today it has risen by 2.78. So there we could already have the revolution this Monday. So this Monday, well, spectacular, we have the advantage of being able to trade before the markets open on Monday. But let's be realistic because you know that at Transcend Money. By the way, many thanks to these non-likers and non-subscribers, we always look at the order book, which yesterday was really scary. And now we know why that was. That some of you commented on it. It must be because they're going to bomb Iran. Well, it seems it was for that reason. So today we already have a normal order book. In fact, normal, with a lot of money waiting for a correction. A lot of money waiting for a correction. Now let's look at the levels, where they are distributing capital to buy Bitcoin. But it has surprised me extraordinarily how strongly Bitcoin has held up. This situation of significant geopolitical tensions, because we're really talking about them attacking Dubai. They've fired missiles at Dubai. Iran has retaliated by firing missiles at Dubai. So even Saudi has said it will protect the Arab Emirates. So we're talking about something that could escalate a lot. And right now, the way I see it is that we are in a very important zone right now for Bitcoin, but on a knife's edge. On a knife's edge, and that's why we are trying to make the Delta Strike tool to be able to react quickly when the market decides, because you know everything is digital. It's instantaneous. So if a strong buy order comes in, the price will go up. If a strong sell order comes in, the price will go down. It's not that the price is going to go up or down. It's that it depends on those who are going to sell Bitcoin strongly, as we always say. It depends on the order book against desperate buyers and sellers. And that's the price. There's nothing in indicators or anything here. When someone sells strongly, the price falls depending on how the order book is. And when they buy strongly, the price rises. I mean, there's no other story, no lines or anything. Yes, we can say there are trend lines. Whatever we want. But as soon as someone comes in with strong money, they move the entire market, obviously. So let's see what we have today, because the important thing is what opportunities we have, right? So I want to tell you that I've already closed my short position in this drop we've had here. And now I'm looking for new entries. Where do I see new entries now? Yesterday we didn't put predictions. Oh, they're here. They're here. Okay, yes. We did put them. You see, it's interesting because yesterday the predictions were very pessimistic. At 58 and the price hasn't moved. They defended the price in an extraordinary way. Look how when it dropped here. In fact, they tried to stop the price. Already at 65. I say they tried. I don't know who it was. If it was Binance or who, but they tried to stop it here. They couldn't. I guess that was when they dropped the bombs at 6 a.m. Universal Time Coordinated. And here they injected a lot of capital to hold the price. So that's why the price didn't fall. That's why the price didn't fall. Because they didn't sell heavily, but also because they placed a lot of orders here. The volume is normal, nominal, 15 billion. No, let's see. Sorry. Nominal for a weekday. Today is the weekend. So $15 billion is quite high, with a very low number of trades. Therefore, those who traded were strong institutions with large trades. They weren't small traders. So, strong money moved here. That's why there were only 5 million trades in the last 24 hours. Okay, so now, let's see what we're going to expect. Given the current situation where market makers want to protect the price, I'm going to clarify it now. It's 62,500 to 62,600 with about $80 million. Let's call it. Look, that's where the movement is right now. Which actually, this movement came out about an hour ago, I think. More or less an hour. Okay, so now that would be the first scalping zone. The thing is, obviously we have to be aware that now we depend, that there's more volatility, obviously, so we need to be more attentive to the market. Or in other words, the market can turn very quickly. But right now, that's 62, at 3.5%, that the price gave for scalping from the last spike. There it seems that the probabilities are high for a bounce. Right now it's 100% guaranteed bounce, or not 100%, but 90%, but during the next few hours we have to be attentive in case there's any change. Those of you on Delta Strike, the alarms will go off for us on Telegram. And you can also follow it here on the order book, on the historical order book, how the order book is changing. That would be the first point. Now let's go to the second point. The second point, look, is 60,000. But you see it's distributed from 58 to 51, with quite a few orders, most of which are 200 Bitcoins, about $15 to $10 million more or less. And we're going to draw it here to see what that capital distribution looks like. Because this, basically, I think it's a capital distribution in case there's a violent drop, to be able to enter all those positions. Let's see where this is. Okay, so I don't know what's happening with the refresh. Sometimes it doesn't refresh. Well, so those are the positions. More or less we have them there. Look at the one that we were saying 62, 60, 58. They're kind of separated, right? Because it means that if the price loses 60, I think that around this area here where we have the last 62 could be quite a violent move. And then we're the strong. Right now the strong bets. All the capital is at 54. Okay, for those who are new, we're talking about a distribution of entries, okay? Because nobody knows how many Bitcoins will be sold and how the order book will react. But apparently, for institutions, right now, they want to protect those prices, whether because they have liquidations or whatever. So, for me now it's 62,500. It has a bit of risk, yes, but 62,500 would give us around this area. It would be the last spike approximately. At 10x, it reaches up to $57,000. Okay, so I'm going to put that. I'm going to set this one at approximately 62,500 because we're entering Sunday. Okay, there we have it. And at 57 to average in case there's a strong drop. There I'm going to go long. I already had positions set. Okay, about 8%, there it is. Okay, I have it there. Look at the number of trades I've made. And it's only been manual when we have the trading bot. We're going to have a problem because the chart won't be visible. Well, so, okay, that would be the situation for me. Now, this is from the perspective of fear, all that stuff. A strong Bitcoin rally is still not ruled out. It seems quite extraordinary that there are 50, let's say, $46 million to prevent the price from rising above 114, 115. It seems quite extraordinary. It will be in 1 month. It will be in 2 months. I don't know, but here, there's money concerned that Bitcoin's price could rise to 115 too fast. It seems extraordinary, but not far-fetched. And why do I say not far-fetched? Because in case you really need liquid capital, and there's a third world war, or a serious armed conflict, where more and more countries get involved in this war. Let's see how the whole situation unfolds, because we never know if we're facing a COVID. Something truly extraordinary. So I imagine the situation of, imagine what happened. Imagine the situation that happened. I'm trying to say now regarding the oil situation. Because curiously, this area is a super important area for planet Earth for oil and gas. So, curiously, the United States before attacking Iran secured Venezuela, which is one of the most oil-rich countries. So we have the American continent, which most likely won't have oil problems. Europe has oil problems because moving oil from here to here has an impressive time cost. So Europe and China might be the ones who will have the problem. Because the oil, if it comes from this whole area here, for Europe, through the strait, okay, comes from this area here, and a lot of China's also comes from here. So the question is if Iran really doesn't let pass. We're talking, this is 20 kilometers. Look, it's not even 100 kilometers. This strait of, what's it called? Hormuz. The Strait of Hormuz is not even 100 kilometers. If Iran doesn't let oil tankers pass here, things could get messy. A big one with the weight of oil. So, we would have to see the issue because it could be that the whole issue is about oil. I don't know what you comment about the pipelines, but you already know that a pipeline is a missile. With a missile, you cut a pipeline. So we're going to follow closely because we are facing a situation where we don't know the great trading opportunity there might be here. Because if really this, first on Monday, we have an opportunity that we can buy and sell crypto before Wall Street. And the second is that right now, this point is super important. So for me now, follow the oil situation very closely. And Bitcoin, for now it seems that it reacts more or less neutrally, but we're on a knife's edge. So for me the play is basically that if Bitcoin takes a dive down here, we said the strong zone now is 54. If Bitcoin takes a strong dive down, buy for at least the first bounce impulse and see how it reacts here when we reach this zone, around 64. If we go down again to look for lower prices, or if it manages to recover this zone, that would be a possible situation because we don't know how they're going to push the missile buttons and what strategy is currently unfolding. So we have to be prepared for any situation. Another situation could be that World War III actually triggers Bitcoin's price because if there are trust issues between banks, you buy and sell things. Or you can't use gold because you can't buy oil with gold. If you can't move it and they don't trust you to have it or whatever, it could be that crypto takes over, I don't know. So another situation would be for the price to try to go for the CME gap and surprise everyone, continuing to rise to 115. So for me, my strategy now, as I said, is to buy. In fact, I've already shown you a small zone here between 62 and 54, a buying zone, and to hold some crypto. But when we again attack this zone here around 70 something, here I'll reduce my exposure a bit. To crypto, keep playing like that. The game, waiting for the next move. Because the next move is 100%. Guaranteed, we already know in crypto that when the price seems boring, we know 100%. For sure it's going to surprise everyone, 100%. Guaranteed, no doubt about it. We don't know when, but look, flat, boring, 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 boom, crash, 30% drop. Boring, 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 boom, 27% drop. Boring here, boom, 24% rise. Boring here, or whatever you want to call it, boom, a rise. It's always the same, always the same. Boring here, boom, boom, boom. So, now a boom is coming. The thing is how to position yourself, because, well, obviously, we could have, well, if it goes to 54, it's not that much, for is 15%, and if it goes to 70, we have little, it's a 10%, but if it doesn't go to the next zone or the CME gap that we have to close, in my opinion, at some point, that's a 25%. So that's where the game is for me. To try to be prepared for the next moves with positions opposite to the sentiment. Meaning, if it drops, keep buying. If it rises, keep selling. For me, it's going against what we apparently should feel. And that's how I see the market today. So, thank you very much, everyone. You know that all the links are below in the video description. If you want the Telegram, the Twitter, if you want to open an account on Mexc or Bingx, which you can use for the Delta Strike website, you have it here. Delta Strike VIP. Here you have the explanation that this coming week, we're going to do the update already. And those of you who are trading on Mexc or BitUnix will be able to enter. Those of you who are traders in the Transcend Money community, you can enter Delta Strike. Do you want to see it? How is Solana today? What's happening here? Let's see if it comes up. There it is. Solana, we lost this support, and it hasn't been able to recover it. Let's see how it is. It's that there's a super strong order. Let's erase these lines. And let's see what we have today. But look, it's more or less the same. The thing is that the levels are for Solana, not Bitcoin. We have where the strongest bet is now. It's a 6% drop, which is this zone here, 76. And then we have a network of 63, 77, 71, 66, 65, 58, 50, and 42. 42 is Bitcoin's 51. And then above, 88 and 94. So for scalping, 76 isn't bad. Well, now we have to be careful with Solana, because we're in high volatility territory. Look at the craziness that we have today. In terms of range, it's a 44%. So, for me, 76. Scalping has a lot of money right now. 8 million for Solana is a lot. Then 63. That would be. A 63 isn't bad. Maybe I'll set it at 63. Well, a 63 and a 76. Right now, of course, here's the thing. And even if war comes and we have a drop, and we enter at a very good price, whether it's a 6% or a 22% drop, we need to be attentive to take partial profits because it might not be over yet. So best of luck to everyone with your positions. You know you have all the links to the Transcend Money community below in the video. Best of luck to everyone with your positions. Pay close attention to the markets, because things can change drastically at any moment. Health, love, and fortune, and we'll see you in the next video.